It's time for your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Friday, October 16. Thanks for joining us. The findings of a review into the disputed 2020 Caribbean Examination Council exams is to be made public in 2 days. CXC says the independent review team, convened by the chairman, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, has completed its report on the review of the modified approach for the administration of the July-August 2020 CSEC and CAPE examinations, the moderation process applied to the school-based assessments, and the grading process for the examinations, among other related matters. The findings will be presented at a virtual media conference held by Sir Hilary on Sunday, October 18. The island's newest senator is ready to get down to the business of representing the country's workers and the labour movement in the upper house. Julian Hunt, a trade unionist and assistant registrar at the University of the West Indies, was this morning sworn in as an independent senator by Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason. He later told the media he is honoured to serve his country and is looking forward to making a strong contribution to the island's continued development.
I will be drawing on my experience serving at the senior level in the trade union movement and in the private sector. I will be focusing primarily on matters and perspectives as they impact upon the trade union movement and the practice of industrial relations in general. For me, this is an opportunity to give back to my country, an opportunity to contribute in a field which I love, which I have committed to for almost 20 years, and to do my part in ensuring that the interests of labour and the interests of all who practice industrial relations is heard, and that we are adequately represented, and that we are seen to be given our contribution to getting Barbados to exactly where it needs to be as a nation.
From Government House to the Treasury, former Senator Tony Moore paid her deposit to contest the November 11 by-election in St. George North. The Barbados Labour Party candidate, flanked by her colleagues, including General Secretary Dr. Jerome Walcott, Campaign Manager Dwight Sutherland, former MP Glenn Clark, and other well-wishers, was upbeat. She told reporters she's energized and the campaign has been going well.
Highly positive feedback from the constituents of St. George North. Every district that we have entered, we have been receiving welcoming remarks from people, even those people who would say that they are not in a position to support, they are supportive of. And we are working daily, our team is working daily on converting those votes of support into actual votes on the day of the election on November 11th. And we remain therefore highly optimistic about what has been going on so far.
Health and Wellness Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic is not losing any sleep over a decision by the United States Health Agency to designate Barbados as a high-risk destination for COVID-19. On Thursday, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control told its citizens to avoid traveling to Barbados, deeming it a high-risk country. It's the second time that the U.S. has warned its citizens about coming to Barbados because of the viral illness. But speaking last night at a Barbados Labour Party political rally in Golden Ridge, St. George, Bostic says he's not worried about the move.
Have no fear. This ship is in stable hands when it comes to COVID. The United States is operating within their sovereign right to do whatever they want with us when it comes to COVID. So if they want to COVID blacklist Barbados, because we've been able to keep COVID out of all of our hospitals, including geriatric hospitals, let them do that. If they want to COVID blacklist Barbados, because we've been able to keep it out of our communities, let them do that. If they want to COVID blacklist Barbados, because we built a multi-million-dollar isolation facility at Harrison Point that can hold 200 and something persons and we've never even quarter-filled it, let them do that. If they want to COVID blacklist Barbados, because we have testing kits and we do a lot more testing per capita than they're doing, let them COVID blacklist Barbados.
On this World Food Day, one of the island's leading service clubs unveiled a school's garden project aimed at feeding families associated with the institutions and eventually the surrounding communities. And Minister of Education Cynthia Bradshaw is urging principals and teachers to play their role in keeping unhealthy snacks and drinks out of school, and specifically getting children actively involved in the produce emerging from the gardens. Speaking during the launch of the Owen Arthur Agro Kids Initiative for Primary Schools at the West Terrace Primary School in St. James, Bradshaw, who expressed concern about obesity and eating habits, stressed there must be a holistic approach to ensure Barbadians adopt healthier lifestyles.
The general call is one that we, the government of Barbados, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Heart and Stroke Foundation, cannot change behaviors on our own. We are not going to be able to simply say we've tinkered with legislation and, we're putting a ban on sugary products alone and expect that all of a sudden we have changed the eating habits of an entire nation. If it were so simple, many other countries across the world would not have the high levels of obesity, and neither would Barbados. So we appreciate and understand what we have to do as a government, but we also understand that it is also a case of changing behavior.
The initiative, being piloted in 4 schools, George Lamin, Arthur Smith, Hillaby Turner's Hall and West Terrace, aims to educate children about dietary habits and exercise and strengthen the country's food security. The widow of former Prime Minister Arthur, Julie Arthur, praised the project, saying it honored her husband's memory in several ways.
1, become the first institution to honor him in name. 2, identify his name with an activity that truly engages him on a daily basis. 3, choosing this date, October 16th, as the launch date, as it is the eve of his birthday, October 17th. Owen was the very personification of the phrase, man of the soil. He loved his plants and knew all of them by name. You could not visit our home and leave without a tour of the garden, a sample of his contents, and a lecture to follow suit. There was nothing Owen touched that did not grow well.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, Trinidad and Tobago has enlisted the help of Barbados to assist with ongoing investigations into the drug Susu scheme. 2 members of the Royal Barbados Police Force is set to travel to Port of Spain next week. More in this report from TTT News.
Concern about the national security implications of the recent seizure and subsequent release of millions of dollars in cash and associated matters surrounding the scheme prompted the decision to seek international expert assistance. Minister Young, in a release, said the 2 Barbados officers will arrive in Trinidad early next week. Minister Young has also requested assistance from the National Crime Agency in Great Britain, the NCA, and is currently awaiting a response to his request. The foreign investigators will join the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service on arrival in Trinidad.
Further afield, a man armed with a knife today beheaded a history teacher in front of his school in a suburb of Paris in what has been described as an Islamist terrorist attack. The assailant was shot dead by police.
It was on this street in a Paris suburb that the attack took place at around 5 p.m. A middle school history teacher was discovered decapitated in the road this Friday afternoon. The suspected killer was spotted by a police patrol whilst carrying a knife around 600 meters from the body and shot dead after apparently threatening the officers. The incident took place in the northwest suburbs of Paris. According to police sources, the victim was a teacher who had shown pupils in his class cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad as part of a discussion around free speech. The French education minister has expressed his horror at the incident.
This evening, it is the Republic that has been attacked, with the horrific killing of one of its servants, a teacher. I think of him this evening, and his family. Our unity and strength are the only responses in the face of this monstrous Islamist terrorism.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.